Thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to be looking at integers. Now, integers are numbers that are positive and negative numbers. So we are going to be looking at adding and subtraction of integers today. So just going to start off with an easy question. I'm going to talk about the meaning of negative numbers when we're adding and take away. So if I've got 2 plus 2, we already know 2 plus 2 equals 4. So when we're adding, we are getting bigger. Excuse me. So that means we are moving 2 places to the right. And we get to 4. But as soon as we are adding a negative number, I like to think of that as the opposite. If we've got a negative, what is the opposite of add? The opposite of add is take away. So that means I go the opposite direction, which is left, and I take 2 and it becomes 0. So that shows us that when we've got a positive of a negative, so it becomes a negative. Because we're thinking about the opposite. That's very similar to when we are thinking about if I've got 2 and I'm taking away 2. 2 take away 2, we know equals 0. But as soon as I put a negative sign there, I'm thinking about what's the opposite of a negative. An opposite of a negative equals a positive. So the opposite of negative, instead of going left, we are going right. So our number's going to be getting bigger, which means we are adding. So 2 take away negative 2 means 2 plus 2, which equals 4. So that gives us our rules. Because we know a positive and negative equals a negative, and 2 negatives equals a positive. But I just need to focus on understanding why. Let's put it into practice and think about how this applies. I've got 2 bank accounts. My first bank account, I've had a bill come out, and I've got negative $2 in there now. I didn't have enough. In my other bank account, I already had negative $5. So if I've got negative $2 in one bank account and I've got negative $5 in another, how much do I have in total? Because I'm talking about the total, I'm adding my bank accounts together, I'm using a plus sign. So if I've got negative 2 and negative 5, I'm going to have less money. So it's going to be reducing. So I know the opposite of a plus. Instead of getting bigger, I'm going to be changing and getting smaller. So I'll rewrite that as negative 2 take away 5. Negative 2 take away 5. I start at negative 2 and I take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I get to negative 7. So that means in total now, I have got negative $7 in my bank account. So though one bank account I owe the bank negative $2, another bank I owe the bank negative $5. So in total I owe the bank now negative $7. Exactly the same applies to when I am thinking about this question here. So I had negative $7 and I paid I paid $5. I paid $5 onto that debt. So I've got -7 and I'm adding $5 onto it. So that means because I'm adding, my number's getting bigger, so it's heading closer to the 0. So it's going towards the right. So -7 and I'm adding $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means that I have -$2 in my bank account. If you need any extra assistance with adding and subtracting of integers, feel free to send me a message and I'll get back to you with some more examples.